Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the Kansept Kryo. It's spelled K-A-N-S-E-P-T. Completely understandable if you think it's Kansept. That's kind of what I thought at first, too. But I've been told that it's pronounced Kansept. There's an easy way to remember if you are a Star Trek nerd. Brand new company, started by Kim Ning. Kim Ning was an in-house designer for Kaiser. He is kind of split off to do his own thing. There are a lot of very Kaiserly influences in this we will get to in a moment. This is the $199 titanium frame lock version. That's what they cost on the street now. They are hitting a few places, one of which being White Mountain Knives. If you go to whitemountainKnives.com, use the code SDWMK at checkout, you get 10% off. That's where I got this one from. They seem to be some of the first guys getting them in. As I said, this is a $199 version. It comes in a few different variants. We'll get to that in a moment. There is also a G10 liner lock N690 version that I am getting direct from the manufacturer, but given the times, I don't know when that's going to show up, but we will see. When it does, I'll do a little side-by-side video with both of them. I don't know what that one's going to cost yet. I'm assuming it's going to be well under the $100 mark. But yeah, a lot of little Kaiserly sort of influences here. The screws look the same. Some of the finishes look the same. This is a very unique finish on this particular handle. The packaging looks the same. Not exactly the same, it's a much different design, but a lot of the textures feel the same. Let's pull that out because I want to show you the packaging for this anyway, because it is excellent. This texture feels a lot like Kaiser, so that's kind of why I said that. There's their logo there and how you spell it. This is the particular model name. We'll get to all that in a moment. This is the titanium, the orange peel finish. There are others, S35VN, and it makes a little noise when you open the box. Sounds like it's haunted, but it is a very nice box. You get this really cool little package here. It has a very nice cleaning cloth, which was very difficult to get back in there again. and then you get this little card with some information about the company and whatnot. All that kind of stuff, warranty, all that. Mostly just warranty stuff, but yeah, nice little touches. But I think the nicest thing in this box is I love their pouch. It is really, really cool. It's this little flip over tab. This little plastic bag came in. Nicely finished on the inside. This appears to be some kind of real leather. Maybe it isn't. I'm easily fooled that way, but it seems to be some kind of real leather. Again, just with their little font on there. Kind of a boring font, but not the end of the world. Really nice packaging, though. And again, some of it, little bits of it remind me of Kaiser. These may be made in the same factory. Would not surprise me because, you know, he did come from that company. So, and there's nothing knocking there. I do like me some Kaisers, so I've not been told for sure that is certain. So that is just my wild guess. So I do just want to say that, but it seems pretty likely to me. This knife, though, so it does come in 3 different variants. This is, as it said, is the orange peel titanium. There is also a like fully blacked out kind of stonewashy titanium with blue hardware and a blue pocket clip. And then there is also what appears to be in pictures. It doesn't seem to be the same orange peel. I believe it's more of a normal B blast with blue hardware and a blue pocket clip. It may be the same orange peel, though. I can't really tell from the photos. So there's not a whole lot of info on these yet. They are brand freaking new. Like I said, White Mountain Knives is the only one that has all 3 of them in stock of this particular variant. This is definitely the first one to hit. Even some of the bigger retailers like Blade HQ, this is the only one they have, and they only have 2 of the variants. So, but I really do like the finish on this particular one. I like this orange peel. I'm not always a fan of orange peel, but man, this one looks good. It is a sexy looking knife for sure. I love the brass colored hardware. It just looks amazing. I'm not sure about the black clip. It's growing on me, but I don't really know why they put a black clip on it. I kind of would have rather it was the same orange peel texture, but they chose a black one. One thing I can say that I do wish they would have done for sure, well, 2 little tiny things. I guess it's both kind of the same thing. I think that this screw and these standoffs should also be that brass color. That is one thing I'm certain of. The pocket clip, I get, maybe it's a bit more discreet, whatever. I'm not going to give a bit of a ding for that pocket clip exactly, but those 2 little things, I do wish they were also that brassy color because it just looks great. But the overall shape of the knife is really nice. One of the things I'm very impressed with it design-wise is this is a 3.6-inch blade, and it doesn't look like it, but it is, and it fits in the packaging so well. This is only an 8.1-inch knife with a big old 3.6-inch blade and pretty thick blade stock. Yeah, I really like that they packaged it that well. It is a much bigger knife than it feels like. It doesn't feel like it's anywhere near that big at all. Let's do some specs and some size comparisons before we get too much farther into this. We have an overall length, as I said, of 8.1 inches, blade length of 3.6 inches. Blade stock, pretty hefty, 0.16 according to my measurements, and handle thickness of 0.49 inches, and a weight of 4.36 ounces. So it's not exactly a lightweight, but not too bad. It is very heavily milled out. I have had this apart, and they did their best to cut some weight out of it. So not really knocking that too bad, because it is a very, very solid feeling knife. So I think that weight is perfectly fine, especially for that big a blade. Not bad at all. Size comparisons. Let's bring our usuals first. We have your Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Slide these up here so you can actually see them. You can see, yeah, 3.6 inch blade, and it's PM2 size. Almost exactly the same size as a PM2. It maybe even just a hair smaller than a PM2, with a whole lot more cutting edge crammed in there. Do really appreciate that. And next up we have our usual Benchmades, the full-size Griptilian and the full-size Bug Out. Yeah, again, a little bit smaller than a full-size grip. So yeah, pretty good. Now we'll bring out some more titanium frame locks I have here. I just grabbed a few. Some more applicable than others. Let's bring out our Ray Laconico Keen from Mastrop. Just a hair larger than that. Your Chris Reeve Sabenza 31. Again, just a little bit smaller than a 31. Same blade length, and it's just a hair smaller. Shorter anyway. Not necessarily thinner, but a little bit shorter. And the Wee Malice, mostly just I'm very happy to have it back. But again, about the same length as that, and this is slightly under 3.5 inch blade, and this is 3.6. And it's still slightly smaller than that. So then lastly, I think this is the one that shows that packaging thing I keep talking about so much. Not packaging as in the packaging that it came in, but how they fit that blade. And this is a ZT0562 tie with a 3.5 inch blade. And you can see it's significantly smaller. Maybe not coming across as well on camera. Let's light them up tip to tip here. You can see, yeah, it's a good chunk smaller. And it's not coming across good on this camera angle, but I assure you, it's a good bit smaller than the 0562 tie, which is pretty impressive. Let's talk about this blade. Well, it is a S35VN and 199 bucks and a titanium frame lock. I'm completely fine with that. And especially if this is made in the same factory as Kizer, they do a really good job on their S35VN. I like S35VN a whole lot. It's super easy to sharpen, and it holds an edge perfectly well enough to keep me happy. And it's pretty corrosion resistant. Now, it's pretty thin behind the edge. Pretty thick blade stock, as I said, 0.16 inches. But it's down to like 19.5, 20 thousandths. And yes, this is a Chinese-made knife, and I think that Wee and Civivi are getting so good at just making everything very thin behind the edge. I do think that influence is starting to spread out. I've noticed like Riot and Best Tech and everybody's starting to get pretty thin behind the edge, and that's a thing I really appreciate. It makes this thick blade stock not feel nearly as thick as it is. Screaming sharp out of the box. Very, very good job there. It's actually a shockingly good slicer for how like thick the blade stock is. It does have a very, 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 very slight recurve to it, but it's not enough that it's going to bother you sharpening it at all. And it does kind of, I guess it does kind of, help a little bit maybe in longer cuts through cardboard and stuff like that. But yes, it's ever so slight. I'm not even sure it's even going to show up on camera, but I assure you it's there. Let's use their box and I'll show you. So as you can see, there's some, hopefully I can get that, you can see, yeah, there's some light coming through there. Ever so slight recurve, but not a big deal at all. Definitely not going to bother you sharpening it. And I guess, yeah, like I said, maybe it'll help holding the cut a little bit better. I don't think it's be dramatically so, but and also really good tip on this thing. Excellent piercer. That swedge is kind of masking it a little bit when you look at it from this angle. But you can see very thick all the way to the tip, so no worries about snapping that tip off or anything for sure. Ergonomically, it's pretty impressive. I like it a whole lot. I have one little complaint I'll get to in a moment, and it's a tiny little thing, but the jimping is in the right place. I like that a whole lot. It does fill the hand pretty well. It fills the hand well, but it, like this dimension, it feels smaller than it looks, but as far as just filling the hand, it feels pretty good size. As you can see, I get all 4 fingers on it completely fine. On the butt of the handle, this is all nicely rounded off. No hot spot there at all or anything. No complaints. The pocket clip, excellently shaped. Don't feel the pocket clip hardly at all. No complaints there. My only tiny little ergonomic complaint is this point here is just a little sharp. Just a tiny little bit. It's not a dramatic thing. And with my fairly skinny fingers, I don't notice it at all. If you have big old meat hands, you might notice it a bit, but it wouldn't take much with some sandpaper to fix that anyway. That's about the only ergonomic complaint I really have with it. Other than that, I really enjoy it ergonomically. It's very nice. How does it carry? Let's bring out ye old Wranglers. It's fine. It's not amazing in the carry. So that pocket clip tension, even though I don't like the color of it, the pocket clip tension is very, very good. You do have a little bit sticking out, but depending on which one you get, it's still fairly discreet because the other ones have some blue on them. This one, it's not a big deal. On a knife that with a big old blade like this, I'm not really trying to hide it, so I don't mind that it's not deep carry. And milled clips, almost never are. So as far as getting your hand past it, it's not bad, except for that it does have a pretty significant Nick Shabazz trademark phrase, pocket pecker. It's not horrible because there's no jimping out or anything, so it's not the end of the planet by any stretch of the imagination. But it is there. If you put anything else metal in this pocket with this knife and you're, I don't know, running from someone, it's going to get banged up a little bit, but it's not the end of the world kind of thing. But yeah, it's there. You can see, but in the pocket, it doesn't take up much room. That pocket clip is angled very well. It's not super tall in the pocket. It's not too bad. Slide it up so you can actually see it. It's not too horrible. It didn't annoy me carrying it a bit, but there are others that are better. Not necessarily as many in this kind of 3.6-inch blade length, but there are others that are better. And you can see, yeah, it sticks out quite a bit. But when it comes to deployment, you don't mind so much because it is excellent. I hate to keep making the Kaiser comparisons, but if there's one problem I had with Kaisers before is that I would not often, I would occasionally get, more than occasionally, less than often, get some kind of soft detents. This does not have that issue at all. Detent is perfect. And yes, you can totally spidey flick it. You can totally thumb flick it. All those things you want to do. The D10 is just outstanding. It's not super drop shutty, but it's close to it, and I think it will break in well. I have taken this apart. I did lube it up and stuff, and it got a little bit better, but it's not a complete free dropper. But when you go to close it, you kind of feel why. There is a lot of tension on this lock bar, which is probably why the D10 is so good. Because when you go to push that lock bar, it's not difficult, but you can feel there's quite a bit of tension on there. And that's why I think it's never going to be a total, free fall drop shut monster. It's never going to be a guillotine. It's just not. With that much lock bar tension, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But it is fun to open, and it makes a good sound. You know how I am with my sounds. Yeah. I'm pretty impressed with this. I do have to say, from the pictures, from the concept models that are coming out, this wasn't the first one that I wanted. It's just the first one that came out, and I approached them, and they agreed to send me the G10 one because it was going to be the first one available, and I was like, okay, it's not the one I want because they have some other designs, the Warrior and the Shard and stuff that look great. I'm going to link to their website down below, which has very little information on it so far. But this is going to be a big player company. This is not some little fly-by-night tiny thing. They're starting off with a lot of models, and they have the factory behind them to make them. These are going to be everywhere shortly, I assure you. But again, this was not the one I was most excited about, and I'm pretty impressed with it, which makes me more excited for the new ones. Not just the G10 version of this, but like I said, like the Shard and the Warrior. They have a bunch of really, really cool ones that just look amazing. They have one that's like super all milled out. I'm really excited to see their future stuff. Like I said, this one's $199. I know that Blade HQ has some prices listed for some of them that are coming soon. They're up into the 200s, you know, 263, I think I saw one, but those are like carbon fiber inlays and all kinds of stuff, so that's understandable. Yeah, pretty excited about this company and can't wait to see more of the stuff they have coming out. In my opinion, from this knife, this is a one-of-one example. They feel like slightly nicer Kaiser, like not a big giant leap, but slightly refined Kaiser. All that said, I haven't held a like new higher end Kaiser design in a little while, so they may have also, you know, made slight improvements to be just this good. I don't know, so maybe kind of talking out my butt about that, but that's my initial first kind of impression, and I love the design, and obviously designer came from Kaiser. They are going to have some kind of Kaiserly looks, but that's not a complaint for me. Really like this knife a whole lot, and yeah, I'm excited to see what they have coming next. I can't wait to get more of them. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.